So we'll take a little extra time on our recap here to get Gelmir caught up. Seeing as how the meal he was trying to prepare tried to eat him first. Which, you know, it's kind of par for the course. Oh my God, so much fun last week. So, that in mind, the team had finally made it to the Minotaur Labyrinth. And once here, they begin to decipher the pathway to the final access point into where it's believed the final resting place of Blackcloak could reside, as well as potentially the final resting place of the final disciple. As all 6 disciples have now been revealed, their tombs have been looted, and curses have been released by this uncanny group of heroes. But making their way through a labyrinth, the constantly shifting, changing puzzlescape, they had discovered the gateways, the astral gates. Once discovering the astral gates, they solved the required clues to get them to activate. And once they were activated, they had officially passed out of the material plane and now have found themselves in the Shadowfell. The landing point, proof that Wintrude's sister may have actually come this way with her expedition party. While finding the remains of one of the members of her party, the team began to look down into the valley entrance of the Black Fortress, the renowned towers of the Black Teeth, the fetid dead forest of the border region of the Empire of the Shader. Here, they made camp. And during this long rest, or the beginnings of it, Gelmir disappeared into the woods, only to come back with a strange worm-like creature that he attempted to turn into an evening's meal, but unfortunately it tried to eat him instead. Other than that, were we about to take a long rest, or did we decide we finished a long rest?
We were in the middle of
doing it.
I was waiting to eat.
And then Tyr was about to eat Wintrude, was where we left off.
Oh, yeah. So, as the fringes of the Shadowfell began to affect the psychological makeup of the group, there was a moment where Tyr had felt an intrusion, an incursion, and the
bollocks.
Yeah. Hey, you're only allowed to use that word in Australia. And without their control or understanding of what was going on, begin to look at Wintrude as a tasty meal, a person.
Like a snack.
What's your passive perception, Wintrude?
21.
Yeah, 21. Yeah,
we're the same.
Now, because it's involuntary, Tyr, like even though you lost the ability to resist the urge,
Okay.
let's assume you're also sneaking up on your food. So go ahead and give me stealth with disadvantage, if you would, please.
That's wild.
What'd you get?
15. Just so you know, there were 2 nat 20s before it rolled over my laptop into an 8.
That would have been brutal.
15.
15. Okay. Wintrude. And this was during your watch, right, Tyr? Because you were the final watch or the second watch?
Second watch.
Yeah, you were second watch. Sorry, some of my asterisks got a little bit muddled. Like I said, it's been a week, and I appreciate everybody's patience. Wintrude, you hear a twig snap. Your eyes begin to slightly open as you wonder about the noise. And as you look up, you can see Tyr. You can see Tyr with kind of like a greenish blue glow in his eyes. You can see that he's like drooling at the, like he's got a froth of like madness drool kind of dripping down his chin. His facial features look distorted and angry, and his hair even kind of like wild and distended. And there's like a dark shadow on his face, a kind of violent look. And you could see that he's like grinding his teeth as he's slowly hovering over you and approaching towards you. He looks maniacal and he looks starved. Tyr's loving this way too much. Oh, he's going to try me some gnome. They look tasty.
Not a. Whoa! Everything okay there, buddy? I'm gonna slowly get up and kind of.
He begins to stalk slowly towards you. Where are my spells? What can I do? I cast Fireball.
I'm gonna. How far is the cliff?
Because you guys camped at the base of the cliff, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Right now, with the way you guys camped, he is like everybody else is sacked out around you. The encampment is at the base of the cliff. He's moving towards you, and the cliff wall is about 10 feet behind you.
I'm gonna. Okay.
And he's getting closer.
Yeah. Slowly he turns step by step, inch by inch. I wanna run towards him, do a dive, like sort of slide under him, and then on his calf or something, touch him and do lesser restoration.
Okay, so with that in mind, I'm going to make this a grapple challenge because then it's equal for both of you because Tyr is clearly under the influence of something. So Tyr, acrobatics or athletics? Wintrude, athletics or acrobatics? Your choice.
Oh,
Okay.
this didn't go well. 30.
Oh,
God damn it.
Wow, I can't beat that. I can't roll high enough to beat that.
well, the difference between the two will affect the outcome.
So I can, let's see, that's a 23. And then what I'm going to do is, hang on a second. I'm going to use my talisman.
I grabbed the wrong die. I should have rolled a different way.
Okay, 25. That's
25?
with that's a roll with my my pack boon
With your
talisman.
Okay.
Yeah.
As you go running and you slide underneath, Tyr manages to like
Where are you
claw across your shoulder and up into your face. So Tyr, go ahead and give me a D4 plus your Dex modifier for your unarmed damage for this particular situation.
Does it get a dex modifier or for unarmed?
For this situation, it does.
Okay.
Yeah.
Plus dex modifier, 4 damage. Or
Okay.
4.
So you take 4 points of slashing damage, Wintrude, as he just kind of grabs at you. And that's when you notice like his fingertips are actual like bits of his bone is coming through the skin. almost like he's suffering from a strange kind of necrosis, and he like slashes at you, and you feel it dig into you. Go ahead and give me a concentration save. Make sure you can still pull off your spell. So 10 or higher.
Can I pull off my spell? Constitution save. That's a filthy 20.
Yeah, even though you feel the searing pain in your like jaw and neck, you manage to grab onto Tyr's calf, and you pour lesser restoration into him. Tyr, the darkness that you found yourself in explodes away from you. Just explodes out. You get your vision back, although you're groggy from it. And you kind of just look around, and there's Wintrude on the ground about a few feet from you. There's blood pouring down her neck. You have bloody fingertips, and you have no memory of how this happened.
But I have an urge to lick my fingertips.
That urge is subsided.
Well, he's really gonna play this to the hilt.
Yeah, he is.
What's going on? What the? Do I feel like weird? Like something? Like I don't remember.
You feel like you feel like you have lost time.
Wipe my hands
like
off.
you remember being on watch.
Mm-hmm.
You remember having an experience, and then
Do I remember the voices?
no, you don't. However,
Wintrude, you okay?
I do need you to roll a d6, please, Tyr.
4.
4. You are now feeling that lost time, looking at Wintrude's condition. You feel as if a bit of paranoia is beginning to set in. You feel this permanent sense of dread kind of settling into the pit of your stomach. That lost period of time just feels kind of overwhelming at this point. You don't know if it's this place or the vision that you just had, but it's omnipresent. Take a point of exhaustion, please.
Is that can I just?
We need a cleric.
I am a cleric.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
we need.
we need a cleric that doesn't freak us out.
Yeah, not the wormy resurrecting the dead for servants or pals or family kind is what I was thinking.
All right, so I'm just not even gonna. I'm gonna look at Wintrude and not even say anything, and like look at my hands and kind of back away slowly and return to watch to my wherever my post was.
Yeah. As the two of you have this encounter, when it rains, it pours. There's a strange noise coming from your right, and where Gelmir had fallen asleep, you notice that his body is covered in hundreds of maggots, like little maggoty worms that are erupting from the surface of the skin wound where he had gotten bitten by the worm that he found in the forest. But he's not waking up from the effect. It's like Tyr's like backing up, and then Wintrude, you're kind of like looking at him. You both turn to your right, and you realize these worms are gradually beginning to infest Gelmir's like comatose form. You can tell that he's sweating profusely. He's unable to wake up. He's twitching from the effect.
So can I do something about?
Yeah, if you want.
I'm immediately gonna run up. I'm gonna take out my short sword and put it like right on, like flat onto the stuff, and I'm gonna cast heat metal.
I was gonna say you're gonna go full on Braveheart, and it's a race of good whiskey. You kind of run up there and you slam the blade, and as you do it, Gelmir, give me a con save, please.
Muted.
Yeah, you're muted, Gelmir, if you're talking.
8.
You immediately scream in pain as you wake up to see Tyr with a blade on that open wound, and you hear like a popping noise, and it smells like
Popcorn.
yeah, it smells like buttery honey because of the protein fat of these worms that he just fried. And you feel this excruciating pain in your arm as you look down to see these dead maggots pouring out of the wound in your arm. Tyr looks strangely kind of hollow-eyed and gaunt. You look past Tyr to see where Wintrude is cautiously kind of trying to like dab and maintain a wound on her neck that she's trying to manage. But you're awake now, although you don't remember getting your full night's rest. You're tired and your stomach hurts. And Tyr looks like shit. Go ahead and make a roll with disadvantage, please.
Always shooting first, asking questions later.
That's very Gelmir.
I got a natural 1 for that 10.
So, Tyr, as Gelmir screams in pain and he reaches for his crossbow, he keeps tucked under his arm, and he shoots at you, and you instinctively kind of like back away from the shot. It ricochets off of you, and it kind of like flat hits the ground. And you watch as Gelmir's crossbow string unravels and breaks, and Gelmir just like,
and that was a warning to you.
Dude, you got to get some better string, Gelmir. That goblin string is trash.
And Alex and Shogo, that would have been enough noise to wake the two of you out of your like sleep. Like the two of you wake up to see this kind of like strange, chaotic behavior beginning to kick off.
As I see what's going, as I see what's going on, I immediately emit this kind of burst of strange pacifying pheromones. So basically,
wait, you fart?
Most of many of my spells contain pheromones. If you want to think of it that way, I can't technically stop you. That's not how I'm going to narrate it. But
no, I just because that's the first thing I do when I get up in the morning. Is I go to the bathroom.
Anyway, every humanoid in a 20-foot radius here must make a charisma saving throw or basically become calm.
It's another natural 1.
Yeah, though you can. If you want to, you can choose to deliberately fail this saving throw.
So it's like Zone of Truth, a little bit. Like you could give the people the option to like actually fail it if they want to.
Yeah. So basically, it forces hostile targets to be indifferent, or it forces people to calm down if they're panicking or if they're charmed.
So Gelmir, you failed, correct?
Yeah.
Natural 1. Yeah.
I got a natural 1 as well.
Get him out of the way now.
You know what, guys?
I leave it up to Tyr and Wintrude.
Yeah.
Oh
So
my!
what am I rolling? What is the
Charisma.
So it's a save. Charisma save.
Yeah.
Correct.
All right.
That's an awesome spell, man. I love that.
You know,
Do I-
Tyr may have killed Wintrude, but it's all right. We didn't. Really
So this doesn't count as an ability check, does it? Or
It's a save.
It's a saving
It's
throw.
a save.
oh, actually, I see. All right, exhaustion 3 saving throws. Okay, so 12.
I did get a filthy 20.
Filthy 20. I think you're the only one that saved, Wintrude. I think everybody else failed.
I don't feel like being calm right now.
And because you did that, Shogo, like you immediately recognizing the chaos is like unwrapping around you. You kind of pulse out that 20-foot pheromone that kind of everybody just calms down, except Wintrude still has like that wild look on her face, like something very traumatic just happened. Wintrude, as you stare over where Shogo is, you look past them, and on the very fringe of the entry point into the dead forest, you just see this silhouette of a figure hunched over, their crooked arms distended. They look like they're standing with a leg that's like twisted inward on itself. and there's a moment where there's a shock of light in the sky that just kind of proliferates just across the horizon scape, lighting up the figure for a brief moment. Their broken skull-like features, their rotted teeth, their hollowed-in, sunken eyes. And you just watch as they begin to raise their hand towards you.
No!
And then they're gone.
What? This figure in the forest just disappeared.
Wait.
What? No. We are being hunted. We're being hunted. It made Tyr almost eat me. It made Tyr almost. Tyr, are you okay?
Halfling hamburglar.
Yes.
Wait.
What?
Shush your mouth.
Wintrude,
What?
please be calm. We can't
This is
lose our
not a
heads in
time
this
for
situation.
Okay,
Chill out.
This is not a time
Richard,
for
you're
calm.
dying.
Sometimes
die.
I just want to say sometimes that anxiety is actually a motivator and can save our lives. So you want to be calm about this, great. But there was a figure out there in the forest, kind of rotted, creepy looking, pointing, and it made Tyr almost eat me. I don't know. Why is it that your Gelmir? Why is it that your arm is rotting off?
Richard, this is
Yes.
you. This needs to be you. This is you.
No,
This needs to be you.
no. Am I the only one who we have to
You see this? You see this? This is
what?
okay. It's chill. We're okay.
You
We're not
might
okay.
not be.
Tyr
Let me see your
almost
arm,
slashed
please.
my face off.
Don't worry about it. I got two of them.
I would prefer you retain functionality of both, if
Yeah,
it's
I'm
all
not
the
gonna-
same to you.
I'm not gonna stop you. You do what you gotta do.
Thank you. I take a look at Gelmir's arm. I'm
Give me a medicine check for starters.
all right.
And keep in mind, no one's had a long rest yet.
Yep.
I like to think that while Shogo's doing this, I'm just like picking bugs off. And just like,
Well, and they're partially cooked from when Tyr did the heat metal of the sword, so they're like half their body is cooked and the other half is still kind of wiggling as you kind of like pick them up and eat them.
31.
It's definitely whatever that worm creature was that bit him. It injected some kind of like it. You could see the remnants of the egg sac that Tyr fried when he seared and cauterized the wound. The worm had injected something into Gelmir's arm, and then that eruption of the maggots was the explosion of that egg sac. Tyr's done a pretty good job of at least sealing the wound, but the wound itself feels like a corruption.
I'm going to, through basically because my, I guess, deity, for lack of a better word, has domain over all vermin, I'm going to see if I can, basically through a combination of like sacred influence and basically pheromone influence and just the nature of my magic, coax the remaining maggots to kind of travel into my body instead of his and be kind of assimilated.
Ooh, I like that. How do you want to try to do that?
Um,
Do you have a spell? Feat? What do you want to tie it to? Because I like that because it fits into your character design.
let me see. I have false life. So let's see.
False life, that makes you appear dead if you cast that spell?
False life basically gives extra temporary hit points for a certain time. So basically, bolster myself with a necromantic facsimile of life. So
Yeah.
using necrotic energy to strengthen myself.
Okay.
So I want to try and draw that necrotic energy from what's happening to Gelmir.
Yeah, I like that. Gelmir, give me another Constitution save as Shogo begins to kind of extract something from your seeping wound.
11. I'm killing it today.
So while you're able to do that, Shogo, it takes maybe about 10 minutes to do. Similar, it's like a kind of ritual cast. And it takes you, and you begin to watch as the remaining maggots and worms start crawling up your hand and into your arm and kind of absorbing into your sleeves and bandages and the things that you use to contain it. The wound looks better. Gelmir, go ahead and take a point of exhaustion, please. And you could give him temporary hit points if you want to, Shogo.
All right. Since you said it was a ritual cast, does that consume a spell slot?
Does not.
All right.
Like
roll a d4 plus 4.
Okay.
Or should I do that?
You can roll it.
All right.
Because you cast the spell.
Yeah. 7 temporary hit points.
Sweet. Shogo, you're bugging me. Get it?
And you're stealing my shtick. It's been a bad day for both of us.
Hey.
I've never stolen a thing in my life, Shogo.
Statistically questionable, but I'll allow it since you've had a rough day. We should... I think
Your microphone cut out.
I call back to... I know things...
Pull it up closer to you.
I call
there
out
we go.
One. We need to find a safe place to rest. I can see this place seems to be killing you. It seems like it's killing you.
No, I think all the places are safe. That's just what I'm going to say. We're good. I feel great.
I'm just looking at from Tyr to Shogo to Gelmir, and then kind of glancing over at Alex, and then I turn around, I cast spider climb on myself, and I climb up to a ledge that I can get to. I just really quickly stuff like my bedroll back in my pack or whatever it is I have, and I climb up there, and then I just roll it out, and I roll over and go back to sleep, like up the cliff.
I mean,
because I don't even want to try to argue or talk to anybody or have Gelmir or somebody else say something to me.
Whoa. Are we going up there? Wait, Trip. Are we going up there?
To be honest, it seems like he wants to be left alone, so maybe we should just move on.
Trip, do you want to be left alone? Trip.
I'm sleeping!
Yeah, see? How is she talking if she's sleeping?
I always wonder that when people say that, you know?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
I'm sleeping. Is that considered an oxymoron? I don't even know.
While this conversation is happening, I'm just sort of dragging all of my stuff to where I'm sort of near underneath Wintrude and setting up to go back to sleep, at least until it's my watch.
Because you take the final watch, right, Shogo?
Yeah.
So Tyr, watching Wintrude climb up the cliff and go only about 20 feet or so up so she can find a little ledge, and she makes her encampment there. Shogo kind of drags his stuff over to the cliff wall. You still have the rest of your watch. You got another hour of your watch, Tyr. Gelmir, Alexander, anything you guys want to do? Are you going back to sleep or
go back to sleep?
Where do I see is like the next sort of progression? Like where are we supposed to go next?
After your long rest, or you just
Yeah.
I mean, you're kind of watching everyone get a little paranoid around you. They're all kind of displacing around the encampment. With the way the valley is formed, like the cliff behind you is where you guys came down, because you're kind of following at this point Wintrude's sister's path, because she seems to be heading in a similar direction. The challenge you have is down in this valley, looking straight ahead, is everything in front of you is just this dense, dead forested area. And then beyond the forest, way off in the horizon, these huge blackened towers jutting up, as if you're looking at at like this massive fortress-like structure. And there are like lights, and the hope is there's civilization there. You're not entirely sure, but the footprints, or at least the tracks, look like Wintrude's sister's expedition had headed off into the forest.
Got it. Do you guys need to rest?
Yes.
Yeah.
Alex is like, really? Because,
All right. I'll keep first watch.
Well, first watch is already over.
Okay. So
I
did
did first
take-
watch, yeah.
Yeah, Wintrude had taken first watch. Tyr is on second watch, and I believe Shogo is up for third watch.
Mm.
So
I'm
Tyr,
going to have Baruch, one of basically the second of my children, stand watch over me, ready to shake me awake if anything else strange happens.
okay.
I find where Gelmir is resting, and I try to cuddle up next to him, claiming that it's cold.
Were you spooning the goblin?
Yeah. That's what Alex wants to do.
like a squishmallow pillow? You just reach
Yeah.
out and
I'm scared, Gelmir.
You know what? If we're not gonna look out for each other out here, who are we looking out for?
Exactly.
So, Tyr, you watch as Alexander and Gelmir fall asleep. Everyone finally, is able to finally fall back asleep. So for the four of you that finally fall back asleep, I need you to make charisma saves, please.
Okay. I can make a charisma save. Charisma save.
Dude, I have such a plus modifier on that one.
19.
20.
19. Okay. What'd you get, Alex?
20.
Nice.
30-20.
Wintrude?
Hang on.
Finally,
God,
a save that I can
worth it.
use.
I got a 10.
A 10? Okay. Good to know. Tyr, at the end of the final hour of your watch, you cautiously go over towards... Yeah?
That was a check?
That was a charisma save.
A Christmas save. Okay,
Yes.
so that was 5, 7. Yeah, that was a 10. Sorry,
Okay.
I thought I messed
No.
up on my math for a second.
No, you're
Apologize.
good. Double checking math, man. I know the feeling. So, Tyr, you come to the end of your watch. Nothing else has happened other than your loss of time, deja vu, and whatever. You come over and you're able to kind of cautiously wake Shogo from their sleep. And Shogo, you're now on final watch.
Before I go to
Right.
sleep, I'll use message to Shogo as she sets up, and I'll say that they can't be trusted before I turn over.
I respond using that aspect of message. I'll keep an eye out. I understand.
Tyr, as you roll over to finally fall asleep, give me a charisma save, please.
24.
Okay. Shogo, as you're patiently keeping an eye on things, examining the new worms that you collected from Gelmir's wound, give me a survival check.
Survival. All right. 6.
6.
Terrible roll.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. There's something about this place that's bothering you. You don't know what it is, but looking at the dead forest, not far from where you guys are camped, looking at these huge blackened towers off in the horizon, this place almost has like a graveyard feel to you. It feels corrupted, it feels dead, which is odd because normally that kind of energy invigorates your sense of exploration and your sense of discovery. But this place feels different. This place feels empty, but yet dangerous. Go ahead and give me a perception check for your watch.
Perception. All right. Ugh. 11.
11.
2s and 3s.
Looking up at the ledge where Wintrude's asleep, Tyr finally falling asleep, and this sense of something in the pit of your stomach overwhelming you. Roll a d6, please.
D6. 2.
2. You get an overwhelming sense of failure in your mind.
I can't protect these people. I can barely even protect my own. It's not enough. I can see them dying.
I need you to take a point of exhaustion, please.
You're not saying that out loud, right? Because Wintrude's trying to sleep.
I mean, quietly,
goes up towards your ledge.
if your hearing's good enough, you could probably hear
I
it.
have a passive perception at 21.
Yeah.
Let's keep the monologue inner.
Like you see Wintrude, like from your perspective, Shogo, looking up as Wintrude says that, you just see this.
She's
gaunt,
just grumpy.
Yeah, well, and her face is gaunt, her skin pulled tightly, her eyes sallowed and kind of sunken in. Her hair looks like it's thinning. You look over at Alexander, who's cuddling up with Gelmir. They're kind of like, and it looks
Spooning?
it looks like Alexander is cuddling like a desiccated raisin of like green flesh. You can see where Tyr looks like they're just skin and bone in his clothes. Everybody looks like they're in a kind of bad physical state that begins to kind of overwhelm your thoughts and your mind. And you're looking around and you look out towards the dead entrance of the forest, and you could see hundreds of like pairs of eyes deep in the fringe of the forest, just staring at you, patiently waiting.
Ooh. I stare back, but I don't make any move to attack. Just kind of like the whole night it's a staring as long as it takes, it's a staring contest.
Give me an intelligence save, please.
That was a mistake, wasn't it? Hey, I'm going up by 1 each time. First a 2, then a 3, then a 4.
Is that
a 5?
Is that the AI from
D&D Beyond?
From D&D Beyond?
Yeah.
Hey man, you pissed something off in the algorithm there.
Hey, as long as I keep rolling at this, if this pattern continues, eventually I'll keep rolling 20s. I just need to survive that long. So yeah, 5.
So as you stare at these eyes staring at you, you watch as hundreds of forms begin to come out of the edge of the forest, shambling undead creatures by the hundreds. They are grotesque, to say the least. Their forms rotted, hunched over, limbs broken, dragging themselves closer to you. They're only a few hundred feet away, but they're getting closer, and there's just a sense of dread building up inside your mind.
I yelled out to everyone. Everyone, wake up! Wake up now! Now!
No one hears this. They all remain asleep.
I command my family to start shaking everyone awake. I run up to the nearest person and just start shaking them as hard as I can.
They fail to wake up, and you watch as your children turn to look at you. Father, we must join them. And they begin to walk towards the shambling horde that's getting closer to you.
Please don't.
They walk further away from you towards this horde that's beginning just to pour out of the forest edge. No one will wake. Everybody is still sound asleep. You even hear the sounds of somebody eating. You look over to see Alexander just kind of already breaking into the top of Gelmir's head, and he's currently scooping out his brain matter and feasting on it in his sleep.
This can't be real. I refuse to accept this as real. My children would never leave me.
Give me another intelligence save.
Damn, son!
Stop the massacre! Stop the bloodletting!
I clicked right over to that tab. I was like, what's gonna happen?
What'd you get?
6. It just keeps on going up by 1.
Up by 1. The chaos in your mind is like a storm that's breaking outward. A sense of your children merging with the horde. Alexander, now done consuming part of Ghelmir, begins to stand up and look towards where Tyr's sleeping form is. And he's already shambling towards Tyr. You look up to see Wintrude and this undead gnome looking down at you.
Halfling.
Halfling. Sorry, halfling. I know. I do that all the time. This undead halfling looking down towards you, her hair thin and gone, her skin pulled tight off of a bony skull, and she just looks down at you hissing. The horde in front of you getting bigger, and you lose sight of your children as they melt into the horde that's coming out. But slightly going around the horde is a figure standing there, staring directly at you. As you feel this psychic shock in your mind. One final intelligence save, please.
Before you finally lose it.
I'm calling it. It's 7. Oh, now I'm going backward. Lovely. Okay. The pattern finally breaks. I just kind of break down and start sobbing.
Okay.
Like,
you need
literally.
to invest in some physical dice.
Normally, the D&D Beyond stuff works out for me pretty well. This is weird, but yeah, literally, like, my reason for between, like, the intense sense of failure that I started feeling before from watching everyone deteriorating around me, and the fact that my children have now left me, like, when I needed them most, I'm just breaking down completely. So,
after a while, Wintrude, since you do have, Tyr, what's your passive perception? It's pretty high, right?
21.
Yeah, are you both 21 on passive perception?
Yeah, we have the same. Yeah.
Okay, so Wintrude and Tyr are the first ones to wake up. Not a halfling hamburger. You guys cracked me up.
It's not. Don't eat me.
Like, you're the first two to wake up, but you can see Alexander and Ghelmir kind of beginning to stir as they're slowly beginning to wake up. The two of you wake up at the same time to see a sobbing and just uncontrollable shaking wretch of Shogo, just almost in a partial fetal position, sobbing just uncontrollably. His children are around him, staring at him confused. You look around to see the normal landscape that you remember seeing when you went to bed. And just a strange sense that something has gone wrong, but it's enough of a noise to wake the two of you up from your long rest. So, Winter and Tyr, you can click off a long rest.
As I notice Wintrude up, I'm going to use message to send her a message. And I'll just say, I know what you're doing.
Oh my God, Tyr's so playing into the paranoia. I love it.
This doesn't recover exhaustion, right?
It does not. Nope.
Okay.
I am just rolling up my bedroll and stuffing it back in my pack, and then because I have the ring of Featherfall, I just kind of leap off. I just take a casual little hop off and float down, and try to get some form of something looking like a breakfast going.
and when you two meet eye contact wise, you both look like you haven't slept in days.
So Tyr, you tried to eat me in the night, and then I cast lesser restoration on you to hopefully cure you of whatever was causing you to want to devour me. I don't know why. You look like a ghoul.
Touch me again, I'll kill you.
Okay, breakfast.
Is Shogo still sobbing?
Yeah.
It's more like soft whimpering now, but yeah close
and I would say there's enough activity now. Gelmir and Alexander, you two begin to kind of stir from your sleep. For some reason, Gelmir, the top of your head is just thick with like saliva, dried saliva.
I'm pretty used to it.
I'll walk up to Shogo as she's having her moment, and I will get close and whisper to her, like, "Get the fuck up! You don't want them to see you like this. They're gonna take advantage of you."
What?
And then I'll walk away.
I kind of sort of dopily look up and see my children around me, and it's hard to tell under the bandages, but I seem really confused but also really overjoyed. I run up to Mika and just hug her as hard as I can.
Not enough to squish like her rotted form or anything.
There might be a bit of that.
There might be a bit of that.
It's like hugging a freaking bean and cheese burrito or something.
Or like a Play-Doh, like one of those Play-Doh dolls. But then it reforms back to normal.
I'm just I'm like kind of just with the fires. It's like mumble.
I don't have enough lesser restoration in me to sit here.
Who was the unfortunate soul that rolled the 10 on charisma?
That was me.
I need you to make a con save with disadvantage, please.
Con save with disadvantage?
Yep.
That's a 10.
As the sense of dread and sense of paranoia that Tyr exhibits towards you, you get this feeling that not only is he untrustworthy, but so's everyone else. Take another point of exhaustion, please.
Oh, a point of exhaustion.
Oh, sorry, take a point of exhaustion, Wintrude.
I was gonna say, where are conditions on this? Oh, there. Add active conditions. Okay, got it.
Wait,
You
where is
guys
that
begin
located?
to go through your morning
Under your health.
and I guess that's the
Okay.
hard part is you feel like you took a rest, but there's no sense of circadian rhythm here. it's still just as dark as when you decided to rest. There's no sense of light. There's no sense of a sunrise or a sunset. Just this strange moon that's always hanging in the horizon, and this perpetual sense of shadow and dark everywhere you look. Every now and then off in the distance, a crack of like a shock of lightning of no sound, just this bright pulse of light that streaks across the background, but just no sense of hope, no sense of feeling like this is ever going to get better. It's beginning to weigh in on all of you.
Did I actually get the effects of a long rest, though? I'm curious. I'm not
Shogo,
actually
yes,
sure.
you did. Yep, you did. But unfortunately, you're going to wake up with 18 points of psychic damage.
Gotcha.
So I get, if I get some sort of breakfast ready, I kind of look down at it. All right, we gotta eat and move, and then I touch my forehead like this and cast Lesser Restoration on myself because I'm still feeling like crap.
Okay.
To get rid of hopefully that one level of exhaustion.
Give me a con save, a normal con save as you do that.
A normal con save. I'm going to keep rolling 10s on these if you don't mind. Unless let me add my
your save bonus.
Yeah. Well, at my talesman. 14.
14. While you feel the lesser restoration take hold and get rid of your point of exhaustion, there was a huge amount of exertion in doing it. And you get the feeling that this place is... There's something about this place that's making life and hope difficult. Like it's overwhelming to the point where you get the feeling that the longer you stay here, the harder this is going to get.
You mean in the Shadowfell, not just at my campsite?
You're not really sure, actually. You're not entirely sure if it's this place or this location, or if there's something going on here that feels like all hope is just being drained.
So I go ahead and I stand up. I kind of kick the fire. All right, and I kind of hastily hand like whatever it is I made, or I don't know, some slop or all right, take it to go. Let's go. Nothing like the journey. Half the fun's getting there.
Did we get the long rest as well?
Alex and Gelmer, you got your long rest.
My one exhaustion level stays.
Yes. Surprisingly enough, Alexander's been untainted by this this place. He's like, you guys should really see hell. This is
Did the temporary hit points reset? Because they reset it on my sheet.
That's up to tier.
That's up to tier because that's one of his abilities that he usually does every morning. But okay. I don't know if his paranoid state's going to allow him to do it. I'll leave it up to him.
Because I had 16.
I think
it wipes him, right?
Yeah, well, I think you can just keep it as is, right? Because it doesn't say like that it ever expires.
It's up to 24 hours, right?
Temporary hit points expire on a long rest.
Yeah.
Oh, they do.
Well, it depends. Some temporary hit points get described as a 24-hour effect.
Yeah, mine doesn't have.
Shogo's perspective, that's true. Most temporary hit points tend to expire after a long rest, but normally it's built into either the feature or the spell itself or the effect, whether it's a 24-hour cycle or a long rest cycle.
Yeah, it doesn't say anything about expiring. It just says they can't gain it again until we have finished a short or long rest.
That means it expires after the long rest. So that means you could do it again if you want to.
I'll wait.
I'm not going to bolster these murderers.
I want to watch Wintrude eat the food first.
She does.
Oh, I'll eat it first.
Gelmer eats it as well.
I'm eating standing up, just like, come on!
Wintrude, this is not great.
Tell me about it.
You could have used
That was rhetorical. I don't really
Any
want you
salt.
to tell me about it.
like if you don't have salt, just use dandruff.
Yeah, I got your.
After watching them eat it and nothing's happened, I will eat the food, and I'll use my inspiring leader, and I'll just tell them that they're watching us. We have to get out of here, or we'll die.
Who is?
We have to kill them before they kill us.
Who?
To give the 16 temporary hit points.
Okay. 16?
Yeah.
Nice.
Who?
Them. The Watchers.
The Watchers.
Mm.
Okay.
All right, move.
Have to protect them.
I just go ahead and throw my bowl behind my shoulder and like stuff my utensil in my pocket, and I just start. All right, let's go. Start walking.
I
towards
take
that dark
Winfred's
forest.
ball.
You pick it up.
Oh, look
Like,
at you being useful for once.
Oh, I got an extra ball, so
Yeah, fully on you.
I kind of shakily follow after Wintrude, using one of my skeletons as a support. I'm really emotionally drained.
As you guys begin to organize yourselves and pick a route to take, the valley entrance that you're in, based on coming down the cliffside, feels like a dead end where you are. But as you look outward towards the dead forest, there don't seem to be any obvious trails that go anywhere. All there are just the 3 sets of booted footprints of Wintrude's sister and her 2 companions, kind of finding their way up towards the edge of the forest. So as you guys follow those booted footprints, and for the first time, you now stand within the beginning density of this dead forest area in front of you that runs to your right, runs to your left, until it, it collects on the walls of the valley, like just sits there growing up into the walls of the valley. But as you're now close enough to the forest, there's extruding kind of like slime and other blackened ichor kind of pulsing from the different trees and landscape. Every now and then you could hear like the sounds of something like letting out a call, just this cracking voice calling in the depths of the forest. And this place feels bad. It feels like it's literally draining your sense of hope. And the smell is overwhelming.
Richard, is that your sister?
But you don't know it's my sister yet.
Oh. Richard,
is that your friend?
can we hurry up?
I'm following the tracks.
So give me a survival check, Wintrude, as you begin to try to follow the tracks.
Got a ranger. He doesn't even follow the tracks.
We got somebody who thinks they need to follow tracks and get to places.
That's a 21.
21. You take the lead and begin to follow the tracks. And you step into the forested area. Who's following Wintrude?
I will.
Okay. So Shogo going in after Wintrude. Who's going in after Shogo?
I'll go.
I'm going last.
Okay. Gelmir in front of Tyr. Very
I'm
paranoid.
gonna try and fight Tyr for last. And just like keep accidentally like walking slower every once in a while.
Okay.
Oh, my ankle has twisted it so bad.
The first time that he does that, I'm gonna take my foot and just go drive it right to the back of his knee. Force him to drop to his knee. Keep it fucking moving.
Oh, I have to fall to my knee and stand here for. Ow, my knee. It hurts. I'll catch up later.
I'll use my I have, what is it called? Fey touch. I'm gonna use command, and I'm just gonna say walk.
Okay, which I believe is the charm effect, correct?
I don't know what it says.
Wisdom.
Must succeed on a wisdom saving throw, or follow command on its next turn.
It's a 9.
That fails. Yeah, it doesn't say charm or anything.
So, Ghelfi, you just gotta get up and you, for some reason, you feel compelled to get up and continue walking.
Look at my great goblin resilience. I'm able to walk right now, but not because you told me to, because I want to.
Also, as we're walking, I'm gonna cast mage armor on myself.
Ooh.
I'm gonna have
This-
Gribbets just like
In case Ghelfi tries
fly,
to shoot you in the face again.
and I'm have him fly above us, like just watching.
Who, Gribbets?
Yeah.
Okay. Have Gribbets give me a perception check since he's at a higher level than you guys are, and he'd have a different vantage point at the dead forest.
All right, let me pull up his stats. That's gonna be a 21.
Okay. So the beginning part of this journey is a little bit overwhelming, but you guys pull it together enough to keep plotting forward. Eventually, Gelmir, Gribbets comes down and kind of warns you of something that he could see ahead, which gives you an opportunity to either warn the rest of the group or retain the information yourself. I leave it up to you.
Have I fallen into like the throes of paranoia like everyone else?
Not quite. You're not quite there. Yours is more apathy than paranoia. Tyr feels paranoid for sure. Wintrude is showing edgy signs of paranoia, but for you, it's more apathy than anything else.
Okay. Hey everyone, a swivel and blah 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 blah.
What?
You heard me, or you didn't. In that case, fuck it. And I'm just gonna keep my eyes open, but that's about it.
Yeah,
I'm
you
going
know
to
the laziest thing you could do is to actually get up here and make sure I'm following these tracks correctly.
Nope.
Reverse psychology never works on that guy.
It's so true.
Never works.
Hey, Wintrude.
What?
You follow tracks my
Yeah.
whole life. Tracks have followed me.
Yeah, that's something I'm not gonna dwell on. Thanks. Let's keep moving.
I think I'm going to have to run psyche evals soon. It's actually far past when I should have done that.
It's like those. I have to fill out 90,000 of those over the course of the year. Those, I forget what they're called, but those basic psych evaluation things that educational therapists and special education people use, or like, cries often or tells lies, or you have to. It's like a 1 through 5 scale, and I always have to go down that list of circling things of eats things that aren't food.
So with that, you guys travel. Well, you're not really sure how long it takes to travel. Once again, there's this sense that without the passing of a horizon, without the shifting of a sun versus a nighttime environment, there's no collision of the feeling of time passing, other than you feel like you've been walking for a while. And now the forest is all behind you. You're in the middle of the density of this forest. And there's always this persistent whisper, like a crowd of voices whispering from within the darkness of the forest. And at some point, all 5 of you watch as hundreds of undead creatures, just almost in like a parade, like crowd-like parade, march in front of you like they're walking past you. And you watch as faces turn to look at you. Rotted, desiccated faces, eyes sunken into skulls, as this zombie horde is walking directly by you. And you can hear hundreds of whispering voices in your minds. I need everyone to make an intelligence save, please.
Please let this go better than the last 4 times.
Filthy 20.
Okay.
17.
Intelligence save, right?
Filthy 7.
Oh,
8. Technically, I got what I wanted. It is better. Bye.
Jason,
Yeah.
you said save, right?
yeah, intelligence save.
All right, 25.
25.
Hey, Wintron, are we there yet? Because I don't care either way.
As those undead walk past us, shamble on, I'll be like, keep fucking walking, bag of bones. Whichever one looks at us.
You do you, Bones.
Whew.
You
Well-
do you.
I'd like to say it's the journey, not the destination. I mean, how often do you see such a parade of undead shambling in a dark, depressing forest? Huh.
Honestly, probably more than most. Right?
So as the 3 of you are like exchanging this back and forth, you're watching as Alexander and Shogo are taking off their equipment, dropping their weapons, and they are attempting to join the horde. Like they're moving past you, leaving stuff on the ground, and they're gradually getting closer towards the horde.
Who is Shogo and
Shogo and Alexander.
I'm gonna walk up and slap both of them on the back of their heads.
Alexander and Shogo, go ahead and give me another intelligence save, please.
Can I keep your stuff?
16.
Okay, Shogo.
9.
Like, so Tyr, you start with Alex and you smack, and you kind of have to reach up a little bit because he's pretty tall. And you're like,
We're
"What
the
the fuck are
same
you
height.
doing?" And you're like, you smack him upside the head, and Alex, you come out of your stupor and you look around, and all your gear is just like lying on the ground behind you, and your armor was like halfway about to be pulled off, and now you're watching.
Put your clothes on.
Now you're watching this Shogo. Shogo, do you wear clothes?
I wear a cloak, but if I get that off, the only thing under that is a lot of bandages, which, for the sake of the group's psyche, hopefully those are still back on, are still on.
So, as you interrupt Alexander from joining the horde, Shogo's equipment, everything's trailed behind him. And now he's doing that like invisible man routine. He's like slowly unbinding his wrappings.
What are his kids doing?
His kids are just mindlessly staring at him going towards the horde.
No, 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 no!
and then I'll run up and I'll to cast lesser restoration.
You Shogo, your hand is halfway unwrapped to your wrist. All of your gear and clothing and everything are behind you on the ground, and like that kind of discarded trail of like, you know, you get home and you're tired and you just throw all your clothes down and climb into bed, and you look over, everybody looks awful, like eyes sunken in, like you've got control of yourself again as you watch the last of the horde just kind of pass by you, the whispering voices kind of fading from both your head and Alexander's head. That feeling of joining them goes away. So Alex, take 10 points of psychic damage, and Shogo take 10 points of psychic damage.
Did you ever give us the temporary hit points? No, right?
Yeah, 16.
He did 16.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good thing that Winter did that, because I was just gonna poke you with my knife.
Wake up.
While
Well,
all that's
either would
happening,
have
I'm gonna
worked. Either
turn
lesser regeneration or causing damage. So that smack on Alexander's head was enough to give him another chance at his intelligence save.
I like the Gaylor just turned to Shogo's kids and was like, "You know, if your dad goes, you gotta go. Like, we're not taking care of you, right?"
They don't really respond, but they are staring at you now.
Shogo, I find you a valuable member of the group, despite all the necromancy and disgustingness. But please don't do anything else that makes me have to touch you.
And then I just quickly go back to looking at tracks and trying to walk the right direction. Ugh. Looking at my finger, just
My bandages are actually clean. Like, on the
Doesn't
outside.
matter. I don't know what's seeping up through them. I've read about theories of
What
small
feels like
critters.
hours and hours of travel. I now need everyone to make a con save.
14.
Okay.
15.
13.
Can I use an inspiration?
Sure.
How much is the inspiration?
DM inspiration is a D6.
All right.
Oh, I do have one. I have that.
Yeah.
I should use that.
Fuck. 7.
7. Okay.
16.
16. This place is. I'm sorry. What'd you get, Shogo?
26.
Nice.
Well, my mind is in shambles at this point. My body's still well adapted to whatever is happening.
For Alex and Tyr, the constant feeling of both your paranoia for Tyr and now Alex, a bit of dread is settling into you after watching that horde walk by, and this forest just feels unending. Tyr and Alex, take a point of exhaustion, please.
Jesus Christ.
Ay, Dios mío.
What do you guys think about just like setting up camp and just like
No. Keep moving.
No.
at home down here?
Tyr's like, come here, you damn goblin. We're
like-
getting out of here.
This is just like where we live now. This is it. This is it for us. What do you guys think?
If we settle here, live will no longer be a relevant term to us.
There we go. Sorts itself out.
I just am looking at tracks, mumbling, just like and moving.
I'm going to use message for Wintrude.
Okay.
I just want to say, give me the cards. As a last resort, I'll just start drawing cards.
And I think,
What are you hoping for with the cards?
To get out of here. Be sly about it. Don't let Gelmir see.
Anybody do anything fun lately?
But let's keep moving.
Yeah, like, it's like all this like mental communication going back.
I'm
and
like,
forth
I'm
as you
rubbing
guys-
my head.
Just come up here. Just come up here.
All right, so I'll walk up and take them.
I'll try.
Not that
I'll
I
try
care,
to-
but like, what are you guys doing?
I kind of want to keep it hidden, like with my cloak, and maybe if Tyr could walk a little bit ahead of me, just sort of
Yeah.
sleight of hand, like one like palm the cards and kind of fan them out like a magician would, sort of like sort of like that.
Gelmir, what's your passive perception?
20.
Okay.
Fucking
What's your
bitch.
give me a sleight of hand, see how this goes. And I'll say because Tyr's complicit, you can have advantage on your sleight of hand.
Oh,
Because he's
come on.
technically giving you the help action by being complicit.
27.
27.
Damn it. I will find these cards.
Oh no, even better. I rolled a 19.
Almost a perfect score.
So that's a 31.
Yeah.
Because I have 12. Yeah, 12. Yeah.
So as Tyr, as you kind of take up the second position behind Wintrude, and the two of you have a quick
Just
exchange. Tyr, you're now in possession of the deck. Oh
no, I was trying to fan them out so he could just pick a card.
You want him to pick one right now?
Oh, I wanted the deck. Is that?
I was
I
saying
don't
he
trust
wanted
him.
the deck.
No, I don't trust him with the deck. I'll let him pick a card.
I'll
but
pick a
he's not
card.
getting
Fuck
the
it.
deck.
Fuck it. We ball.
You guys are trying to fucking kill me right now.
No, I don't. The thing is, the way Wintrude feels and everything else, obviously she respects Tyr, except for the fact he tried to eat her last night and everything, and we all feel how we feel. But
despite the fact that Tyr tried to eat her last night,
but she, even in the best of circumstances, most likely would not just hand something like that over to somebody else. She just can't. She can't do that. But she'll palm it in her condition, kind of, and fan them out one-handed. She's trying to keep it just close, where she fans it out and says, "Well, try it. Take a card."
What happens if you take out multiple cards from the deck of many things at once?
Well, you're only allowed to draw one at a time.
Yeah, you only draw one at a time, but I'm just fanning them out for him to draw it.
Okay.
One is the thing.
Give me a D20.
D20.
Yeah, he's the one drawing it, not me.
And then just from what I understand, when a card is taken, it no longer exists, right?
Right.
Correct. I believe one's already missing, right?
I drew 2 cards. So the first card I drew disappeared all my non-magical items.
Correct.
And then the second one gave me the scroll of plane shift.
All right. 6.
A 6?
You die.
Oh, dying isn't the worst thing that can happen.
I know. There's some, but you, Jason, you might have. Did you kind of?
I've tweaked them a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I've tweaked them a little bit.
Knowing you've probably
some of them I kept the same because I really liked them.
Right. Cool.
As you pull the card tier, your paranoia increases 100-fold. Because as you pull the card and turn to look at it, you see this demonic visage on the face of the card. The illumination of a flame background, and then this echo in your mind. Your soul is mine. And then the card bursts into flames.
Not if I get yours first. I have a question.
Is this you to the DM or you to me?
To the DM.
Go for it.
Am I still hearing anything from the sword? From my sword?
Not for a while.
Okay.
And it's even more strange now. Like it feels, I don't know. It's hard to know for sure, right? It feels emptier here. In fact, give me an insight check since you haven't heard from it from a while.
With disadvantage?
It's a check, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I had a 19 and a 20. 26.
Nice. It's almost as if whatever's linked to the sword can't find its way where you currently are. And now you have this even overwhelming paranoia that something is now watching you specifically.
They've been watching me, so it doesn't matter. Let's keep going. I'll message Wintrude. I may need another. Later, I'll let you know.
What are you guys doing?
This is all mental. You
guys walked up to each other and were buddy.
Yeah, normal. It's like Gelmir looking at a candy shelf. Hey, what are you guys doing up there?
What are you guys doing up there? What are you doing?
Holy crap, this is deteriorating so much faster than I thought it would.
Kelmir, get up here. I'm talking to Tyr about the tracks, and if we're heading off in a direction he agrees with. Come on up and check it.
I don't care that much.
Okay.
That'd be the apathy.
And I just look over. I just look over at Tyr and go, and then back to it.
What a
And then
sucker.
I try to pocket the deck as carefully as I can.
Put it away. Whoever's up front, give me survival as you're continuing to track.
That would be 17.
As you're tracking, once again, it's hard to gauge time here. You don't know why, Wintrude. It's just your little halfling brain's like, I know I've been walking for a while, but holy shit, how long has it been? And you kind of stumble out into an opening of the forest, this like where maybe some of the trees have been affected by something. And you could see a form lying on the ground. And they look to be dwarven in size because they kind of look burly and shouldery, like their shoulders. You can see that they're on their side, and you can see like wounds on their back that are just leaking remnants of blood. But you can see like insects already beginning to like attach themselves to the body. You get a little bit closer as you look. You realize you're looking at maybe one of the members of your sister's party.
Right.
It's a dwarf engineer that you know that she's partnered with on occasion. Goes by the name of Aldor. And even though you haven't gotten right up to him, you could already see that his exposed area of skin are already desiccating, which is awfully quick considering you get the feeling that maybe at best your sister's a day ahead of you. Maybe. But once again, it's hard to calculate time here, so you're not entirely sure. The rest of you coming into the clearing watch as Wintrude takes a pause to she's examining this dead dwarven figure and near some collapsed trees. Wintrude, with that same survival check, you notice strange footprints around the form. They're elongated. They seem like they're heavily impressed into the ground. Based on the footprints that you're seeing, this thing's probably quite tall as well, although it doesn't make a whole lot of sense how that would be. And then looking, you can see the remaining two sets of footprints leaving the body. The body looks to be very much picked over, like his backpack is open and everything of importance has been taken from him, and whatever's left there feels like maybe your sister just took what they needed for the remaining of the journey, and you're just staring at Aldor's corpse, and you'd swear that he's been here for days considering his condition.
Well, how is it? They can't be more than a day ahead of us, but look at this corpse. Shogo, what do you think?
This corpse, under normal circumstances, would have had to be dead for over a week. But obviously that's not the case. Would you like to speak with them? I can...
In her head, she's like trying to play like everything's cool. And she's like, the paranoia and everything, she doesn't know about like the sort of effect it would have if everybody knows they're following her sister. Like, I don't know. She kind of doesn't want to have that.
We're good. I think we're okay here.
It could be useful for you. I could be useful for you.
Yeah, we're good. Let's move on.
Well, Shogo, yeah. Gelmir, she has a certain expertise she brings to the party. You go over there and think about how you don't want to do anything. But you probably don't even want to think about thinking.
Yeah.
Actually, it's kind of interesting. Shogo has never actually referred to themselves with any particular pronouns. I know it says her son in my title card, but that's because the term there literally couldn't fit. But,
I would say the most overwhelming sense that Shogo's expressed is just always referring to the family.
Let's just
Children,
go.
the family,
Let's
the
just
children.
go. Like, we're here, and then there's other places. Let's just go to those places.
How is it you don't want to do anything except make suggestions? All of a sudden, you have energy for suggestions that are not helpful.
I couldn't hear you.
Give Shogo a second to do their thing.
So
Right
you're
here,
okay?
Alex. What can it hurt to know?
I agree.
Yeah, he agrees with me.
Shogo, please. Shogo, please proceed.
Thank you. I take out my cauldron, kind of position the dwarf's head into it, perform the spell. He twitches a couple times before what's left of his eyes roll forward to look at us.
His big swollen tongue kind of falls out of his mouth. He looks up. Why do you bring me back? What do you want?
I gesture towards Wintrude.
She's like not. She is like just totally like. Ugh.
The fact that you can see things moving under his skin does not help at all.
Are you done yet?
How many of your party remained? Sir Dwarf?
It's flipping through the journal.
Aldor? 2. Did they give any details about what would happen once they get to the black buildings?
Yes.
Explain.
Once we get to the Hellmouth Gate, we find our way down to the tomb of Chenix. And what's in the tomb? I need to figure out how to open and find Chenix's altar, releasing his spirit, and finally allowing us to locate within the Shader Empire where Halaster Blackcloak is buried.
She does have a. She has like a. She does have one of the journals out. She's trying to furiously write all this.
Can we go yet?
Shh! Talking
Yes,
to the
you can
dead
go.
guy! Don't I get one more? 3 Is it 3 questions, Shogo?
Yes. Oh, dwarf dies. Because it heard Gelmir and then you asked.
It's a total of 5 questions.
Is it a total of 5 questions? Oh,
yeah. Yeah, you
but-
did
but
question
Gelmir
1
burned
and 2. Like, first one was 2 left. Second question was a yes answer. The
Love
third
it.
question was the explanation, but then it heard Gelmir, or can we go now? And it said yes. And then you were asking, don't I get more questions? And it said yes, and then it died.
Then it lied to us.
Yep.
Well, it's sort of a paradox. Yes and no.
Schrodinger's question.
You guys then watch as the dead dwarf begins to twitch and rise. And just kind of shamble towards the darkness of the forest in the direction that you remember seeing the horde.
Oh.
And with that, let's take our 5-minute break, and when we come back, we'll do the second half.
That wasn't supposed to happen.
I've been very hesitant as to how this part was going to go.
Oh, we're doing such a great job so far.
I'm just like, oh my god, this is gonna be so traumatic. They gotta get through the forest of the dead and get to the Hellgate. I'm like, ugh. The drawing a card took me off guard a little bit. I was like, really?
I was thinking in my paranoid state, Loki.
No.
I was thinking when Wintrude was, I was thinking it was going to steal it actually. When before Wintrude went to sleep, before she did her spider climb thing, I was going to ask. I was like, "Where's her bed at?"
Right.
And before she did that whole thing, I was going to put the ring of invisibility on and just steal the cards.
I love it. The RP on the paranoia is
But
awesome.
I'm kind of happy with the result because whatever is, you said it's like a devil or something. I'm hoping that either I can draw it out, maybe get a deal done, or just draw it out and kill it.
Hit the crossroads. Teach me how to play a guitar.
If only I had a fiddle. Wow.
So is Zachary, is Shogo, is that a grave domain cleric? Technically?
Death domain.
Death domain, that's right. Oh, so that's more like that's gonna be like in Xanathar's or Tasha's, right? Like not in the normal PHB.
I think it's in the normal PHB. I don't remember the source.
Oh, the death domain is, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I see it right here. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I was looking after our last session. I was like, oh, what am I going to add? Like, I think I might do just one level in something. And I didn't know there were so many good little classes.
Little subclasses and subclass dips and yeah.
Or I just was like, oh, if I take monk, I would get I could get my AC up to like 21.
I always say take at least 2 levels if you're gonna multi-class though, because you like for rogues, for example, you get like cunning action at level 2.
Yeah. If you've got a strong dex already, taking a couple levels in rogue can be pretty changing. Could really change things. So you guys watch as the creature that you just spoke with and then fell back dead has shambled to its feet and is just kind of shambling towards the density of the forest in the direction that you remember encountering the zombie horde.
Before he's like out of sight, I'm just going to put my hand basically to his head and have my worms basically exit him.
Okay.
Those ones aren't meant to
you absorb them back into your hand and your arm, taking back your components and elements of what you did to speak with it, as it just wordlessly shambles out of all of your sight and into the forest.
This fucking place.
Yeah,
It's all right.
It's okay. I mean, reminds me of my ex-wife's house. Yeah.
I've seen worse, you know.
Wintrude, give me another survival check as you begin to try to track down where those last 2 sets of footprints are going.
That would be a 7.
Once again, time is difficult. You find yourself at one point feeling as if you've been following Wintrude for a while. Wintrude, as you follow the footprints, you're back at the same site that you remember seeing the dead dwarf. After traveling for a while, you've circled back somehow.
Wow. Good job.
Let me try this again. Sorry, gang. Hey, Yelmer, are you sure you don't want to crack at this? The tracking?
What's the play, right?
I just want to keep getting like extreme apathy.
Oh yeah, it's the worst too.
Instead of like the cute kitty posters with like hang in there or stuff like that.
And
Just
now
says fuck it.
Just fuck it. Because the cat going.
And now as you like look at everybody's concern, right? Like so you look at Gelmir, you see apathy. You look at Alex, you see dread. You look at Tyr, you see paranoia. You look at Shogo, you see a little bit of almost everything, but a little bit more on the paranoia side because of that previous experience that they had with back at the campsite. And you're
It's
also
more like
looking at
desperation.
yeah, a mixture of paranoia and desperation. And you're beginning to see that people are physically beginning to alter a bit. Like their skin looks flaky, their eyes shout like, you know how people look like they haven't slept in days, get that kind of dark look to their eyes. Gelmir is just picking up bugs off his skin and like tossing them in his mouth. It's just, go ahead and give me another survival check.
I'll assist.
Okay.
Oh,
I won't.
Help you.
somebody. Thank you, Shogo. I really. I could use all the help I can get. I don't.
Let's see. I'm gonna roll. Let's see. That's technically right now it's a 13, but I'm gonna go ahead and use my talisman.
Okay.
Roll an extra D4 on it.
During the I use basically invigorating pheromones to give you an extra D4 as well.
Okay, so that's 9, 12, 15, 16. So that'd be 16 total.
All of you follow Wintrude in and out of the winding trail that she's following, and her halfling form disappearing for a moment and then reappearing as she's moving in between the trees. And you travel for what feels like another hour, and Wintrude, you're in the same spot again.
But
You're not good at this one, True.
that's not possible. Shogo, that's not possible. We were following
Unless we're being tricked.
the tracks.
Winfred, if you followed the same tracks, they led you to the same place. I'm just.
Your apathy is so dysfunctional, Gelmir. I need everyone to give me con saves, please.
Holy crap.
Oh, that's not the right thing. Hold on, roll the wrong thing. 18.
18, okay. Alex?
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20 for Shogo. You're muted,
13.
Alex.
I rolled D&D Beyond, so that was
Natural
11.
1 for a 4.
Oh, that's not good. Wintrude, what'd you get?
11.
11. Tyr, what'd you get?
13.
13. Tyr, Wintrude, and Alex take a point of exhaustion.
Oh, Jesus.
Alex, you're now under the dread effect.
Mhm.
Go ahead and give me an intelligence save.
Okay. That's going to go really well. The 3.
A 3. Go ahead and take 12 points of psychic damage. And you get this pervasive feeling as if at any moment something's going to attack you.
Tyr, I can see you wasting away. Please let me do a medical checkup.
Yeah, do it. Yeah, this is quite an interesting situation. I feel exhausted beyond belief. I can't even walk. As I purpley.
I'm fucking loaded. What the fuck?
You can't walk, Alexander. Let me see you.
He'll be fine. He's invincible.
He's immortal.
I don't know if I'm invincible from exhaustion.
Nah, you're fine. Fuck it.
Gelman, you're doing great with the apathy. I love it. It's like I feel like it's part of your backstory, so it fits.
I'm gonna.
Please let me help.
Of course, as Shogo is saying this in their voice, Tyr, Shogo has. You've always like read books about liches, and Shogo has this like either like this lich vibe that's going off, or like those fables that you've read about cultures that preserve bodies through mummification. And you're kind of like remembering when Shogo was like trying to join the zombie horde, and thinking about how they were just wrappings, and like in your mind you're like, maybe Shogo's a mummy or a lich. Like you're now constructing the paranoia directly in your mind.
It's funny. This sign says "Liches be crazy."
And for you, Alex, your sense of dread is putting this like sense of permanent fear in your mind. Everything is fearful. Everything that you look at terrifies you. You look over at Shogo, who's trying to help Tyr. Miles will be somebody eating somebody. You're just like, you're flinching at everything. You hear like a drop of slime into a slime puddle. You can hear Wintrude frustratingly like kick a stick across the open, like the across the tree area, and it causes you to flinch and look over, and you're having a hard time keeping it together. You almost are beginning to feel like you want to bolt.
I start to try to run, but I'm like so slow at half speed, and I'm just kind of crippling away. But
All right.
I don't even know where I'm going.
Where are you going? Where are you going?
As the lich tries to talk to you.
Don't leave me.
Wintrude, give me another survival check as you desperately try to find these tracks.
Is that a disadvantage because of exhaustion?
Yes, if it's a check. Yeah, ability checks are a disadvantage.
Ability checks are disadvantage.
Yeah.
That's what I was wondering. That's a 16.
16.
So I got a 20. Dang it, son of a bitch. But
Yeah,
anyways,
20?
disadvantage. Well, 16.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, because of disadvantage.
You begin to lead the group, sensing this place just taking its toll. It feels your breathing is getting more difficult. And then you hear a voice up ahead. Been traveling for, it feels like maybe another hour. Your bones and muscles are beginning to ache with the exertion of traveling. And you look around as you're desperately hoping that the things around you are not the same signs. And you can hear a voice up ahead. A feminine voice. I'll say Alex and Tyr and Shogo are kind of almost like helping each other move forward. Meanwhile, Gelmir's apathy. You know what, Gelmir? Your apathy's at a point now. I want you to make a wisdom save, please. No, you know what? No, wisdom check. Give me a wisdom check.
It's a 9.
9. Your apathy is at a point you're like, why am I carrying all this stuff? And every now and then you pull something out of your bag and you drop it behind you. What's the first thing you drop behind you?
First thing out of the bag, probably the ornate pirate belt.
Yeah, you just like pull it out and let it fall to the ground. I'm never going to wear a belt. I don't wear pants. You know, you're just like, you're feeling the apathy even like infect your sense of greed. Like suddenly greed is not really that important to you anymore.
It's about stupid. It's too big to hold up pants. There's no need for it.
Gelmir, buddy, you can't start dropping your stuff. You love your stuff.
I can do whatever I want, Richard. Okay.
I start crippling over to try to pick up all of his stuff.
It's yours. The belt's yours. Take it.
You just watch as he limps over, and for whatever reason, you look and you're fearful that someone's going to find it, Alex. So you pick it up with the hope that this will prevent the thing that's tracking you from finally getting at you. And you kind of bundle it up, stick it in your bag, and looking around, your eyes darting in different directions, wondering where it is. Richard, this is playing out behind you as you hear a voice in front of you, like it's coming towards you, and you're like, you hear her. It's a feminine voice. And I think I've added enough to it. Perhaps a little bit more to keep the hunger at bay. And you like step between two trees, and there's this like hut made out of the remnants of trees.
Oh no.
There's this large black cauldron sitting in front of the hut.
It's a hag, isn't it?
You could see off to your left, chained to one of the trees, is your sister.
Ah! Oh no, sorry, that was in my head.
Meanwhile, a stone altar is behind this green and purple skinned, bent over creature. These long, slimy strings of like strands of hair, sunken in yellow eyes, and this kind of tight skin that's almost tissue paper like. They're wearing what looks to be an assembly of parts of something that's been stitched together, that they're wearing like a robe. The figure stands like maybe about 6 feet tall, hunched over with a big hunch on their back, spindly arms coming out from underneath. And you watch as in their right hand is this huge ladle that they're like stirring the cauldron with. It reaches down to a pile of body parts that are like stacked up next to the cauldron base, where this soft red glow of a fire, and it picks up what looks to be a masticated arm and like drops it into the cauldron and goes, "Oh, that's better." And it like wafts the aroma up into its nose. You can never be too perfect when it comes to making these things. You watch as it like dawdles away from the cauldron and looks down at the halfling chained to the tree. Don't worry, dearie. Don't worry. You're next. And they go back to the cauldron and stirring it, picking up another body part, dropping it in.
I always get freaked out by hags. I don't know what it is. I just always get freaked. I swear, I just always do. Even when I've DM'd and I have hags in the scenario, it's like I am just. Oh.
Who says it's a hag?
I think Gelmir approaches the cauldron.
It's like, Wintred, as you're standing there staring at it, you feel Gelmir pass you and start walking into the open area where all this is set up. And then you notice it stops stirring, and we have visitors. And it turns to look at Gelmir as it approaches. It lets go of the massive stirring ladle that it's using. It just kind of lets it go. And, well, what do we have here? And it starts moving over towards you, Gelmir. It like hovers over you. It smells like rot and slime. And not that you would care normally because the level of apathy that's set in, but the clothing that it's wearing is actually preserved stitched skin of many different humanoid type creatures. And it just, what are you? We haven't seen a goblin here for a long time. And you watch as a long kind of like viscous bit of drool drips out of the corner of its mouth. its blackened tongue running along like very sharp, pointy looking teeth. It just kind of stares at you for a moment
as it drifts down.
And
then I'll just look at like all of the skin she's wearing and just be like, yeah, this looks like it was, that's intricate. It took a long time.
I want to, how far away are we?
You guys are at the edge of the clearing. The clearing's not that big. It's a big enough clearing to accommodate, it's like she set up a little hovel, just all this wood and old tree that's been kind of put together to create like a little hovel. There are cauldrons like on top of a fire, and you could see attached to one of the trees chained is very much a kind of like, she looks a lot like Wintrude, but she's docile, she's emaciated, and she doesn't seem responsive currently. Gelmir is standing talking to the creature. You guys are all gathered at the edge about maybe 75 feet away.
So I want to ready to cast silence. If I think the creature's making like an aggressive movement or is like starting to cast a spell, I want to cast silence on the stuff. Ready to cast it on the area where they're at.
Okay.
But I'll just continue to watch from afar.
Okay.
So, like, what's your whole deal? Like, what's going on here?
Well, what do you mean, what is my whole deal?
Like, is this a day off? Like,
no, well, since you asked, would you like me to show you what I do?
Honestly, I don't really. I can take it or leave it.
Oh, well. Then in that case, I'll show you. Seeing as how you're slowly becoming one of my children.
And you watch as she runs her finger down like Gelmir's head and jaw, and then like she licks her finger and then kind of goes over to the cauldron, and you begin to watch her kind of begin a ceremonial chant. Shogo, give me an insight check, as you might recognize what she's doing.
Right? Insight.
With disadvantage, though?
With disadvantage, I guess.
That's fair.
Yeah, first level of exhaustion is disadvantage on checks. So.
Yep. Skill checks.
13.
13. You don't know the precise spell, but she's casting a either summon dead or raise dead spell. And within a minute of her casting it on the edge of the cauldron, there's a pulse of blackened light.
I think I would try and interrupt that, or at least...
Yeah, I see she's casting a spell, right?
Yeah. You want to
silence on her ass?
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
Is there a save for that?
No, just on the point.
Okay.
It's like a 20. It's like a radius of.
It's like a bubble. Yeah. It's like Gelmir, you're halfway through your monologue, and she starts casting, and suddenly she looks confused, and you're not saying anything.
I'm gonna use message Gelmir. Fight.
I'm good.
I like how he's like,
yeah, he's under the apathetic effect.
you can't hear him, but it's just his lips. It's like a exaggerated good, but
well, since she lost the verbal component, she's now looking around confused, and you can see its head moving to try to figure out what's going on.
Out of the trees, I cast Chill Touch. So basically, like this sort of mobile egg sacs. Well, I guess I rolled a hit.
Yeah, it's a roll to hit. And what's the range on that?
The range is 120 feet, which is
you're definitely good on range.
15.
15. What's the condition effect of Chill Touch? Is that necrotic?
Necrotic, yeah.
You feel the spell land but it absolutely has no effect on her. You suspect she might be immune to necrotic as you watch that effect happen. The creature then turns to look over her shoulder.
Something that's kind of interesting is that basically my character ignores resistance to necrotic damage.
Yeah, this is immunity, though.
Yeah, what I kind of think would be interesting is if I turned immunity into resistance.
There's a feat for that.
Yeah, I think.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
I think there is a feat for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good point. If there's a feat, then I don't think that would be okay.
Which is, that it's a fun feat because it allows you to see if you are developing as a necrotic-based character. It allows you to make sure that if you come across immunities, you're still able to do damage, which is a pretty powerful feat.
Yeah, and it also turns resistance into standard damage.
Yeah,
too, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, maybe if I get a chance, I'll pick that up.
Yeah,
but yeah,
in the confusion, I don't know if I could do this. I unsheath the dagger of lightning, and I try to charge like behind her, sort of like, or like just out of her attention range as she's looking around, trying to figure out why everything's so quiet. And I just want to stab her full on in the back with the dagger of lightning. I just want, and then get into the bubble and go,
Nogo just tried a chill touch. And Wintrude, you just balls out, start charging from behind. Since it's silent, you don't have to necessarily be quiet. And you kind of leap up and start stabbing and attacking her back. Go ahead and roll the hit with advantage.
Well,
she cannot hear you.
Would be like nothing, right? Because you have disadvantage. Are you exhausted? Oh no, you're not. Oh shit, I have 3 levels of exhaustion.
Yeah, Tyr, you're the one that's like paranoid, doom and gloom right now.
So that's 15. That's 24 to hit.
Okay. So Alex, as you watch Wintrude charge in, anything you want to do at this point?
Oh, and sneak attack.
Oh, and sneak attack, yeah. I don't know if it hits though. You got to tell me.
Oh yeah.
You're mute, Mike, if you're talking.
Let me just. Sorry, guys. I gotta just verify how many dice are on sneak attack again, so I don't overroll.
Yeah. Approximately how far is Wintrude from me?
So Wintrude has charged the creature, so she's about 70 feet from you. Tyr and Shogo have kind of remained back at the tree line with you, and Gelmir's standing near the cauldron, kind of very apathetically, just kind of standing there like everything's fine.
Okay, so some of this, the damage from the dagger itself. I don't know if you want me to give you the damage from the piercing of the dagger is 7.
Okay.
This dice is cocked from the.
Whoa, language.
Cat. The lightning is that roll's not that spectacular. Actually, 6 is 15 lightning damage.
Okay.
And then the sneak attack damage is 12.
12. Okay.
I would cast. I am half speed anyway, so I would move up about 10 feet and then cast Mind Silver.
Mind Sliver? It's a wisdom save, right?
Yeah. Intelligence, sorry.
Or intelligence save. Yeah. That's a 7 and a 4, so that's going to fail.
Oh, shit.
Okay. So it would be... Okay, 3d6 psychic damage, and then it also subtracts 1d4 from its next saving throw.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm just like taking the dodge.
So that's 10 damage.
10 damage? And you're like just doing the dodge action because you're like,
I would think so. Yeah. So I'm not doing nothing, but I'm also like not doing anything.
So as a reaction to you attacking it physically, it's enough to distract the creature from when it was looking back in the direction that it felt like something had tried to attack it at range, and now physically feeling you. For those of you outside the silence bubble, it's a wordless kind of fight taking on around the cauldron, except Gelmir is just kind of trying to stay like trying to just stay out of the threshold of the tussle. Wintrude, you feel this hand kind of reach back over towards you as it tries to grapple you and pull you off of its back. Give me athletics or acrobatics.
With disadvantage.
And the silent bubble's stationary, if I'm correct, right? That's where it... Okay.
It would be 15.
15.
And
it's a dirty
silent...
20 for her, or it. You feel it grab onto you, and you feel the nails pierce into your skin for 5 points of piercing damage. And
for how much piercing damage?
5 points.
5 points. Okay.
And you guys see Wintrud scream kind of wordlessly as they get thrown out of the silence bubble. And when she does, it's her screaming in silence. And then as she comes out of the bubble, her screaming gets louder. And you watch as the creature ignores Gelmir, like moves past Gelmir and begins to chase Wintrud as she got thrown across the way. Her attention is fixated on Wintrud at this point.
I would say, how far does Wintrud get tossed? So the spell is a 20-foot radius sphere.
Yeah, Wintrud got tossed 10 feet. So as they come charging at Wintrud, they're right at the edge of the effect. So they're still under the effect, but you watch as the creature, their long hand and spindly nails kind of protrude. You just watch as the creature takes these 2 hand swipes down towards Wintrud. Wintrud, that is a dirty 20 and a 21 to hit. Both hit.
Yeah.
That's going to be 18 points of slashing damage. And I need you to make a con save.
Ow! With disadvantage, that's disadvantage. Right? Everything's disadvantage. Abilities.
Well, no. How many points of exhaustion do you have?
1.
No, it's just skill checks.
Okay, so con save. That is a save filthy 20.
Filthy 20. Okay. You are not poisoned, but you will take 8 points of poison damage.
So
half the 4.
An additional 8.
Yeah.
Damage?
Well, half. Well, you saved, so half of 8
4
points of poison damage, and you're not under the poison effect. Because you just saved.
It's like Lady Deathstrike, right? From the Marvel comics, like the
kind
crazy
of, yeah.
fingers. And
Yeah. Gelmir, anything you want to do?
So I saw Wintrud get thrown and attacked by this lady. I see this person chained up. I see the stew.
That's different. I like how you describe it as a stew.
So,
I don't know how I feel about that.
I think I'm going to go taste the stew.
Okay, as you move over and you wordlessly get up on your tippy toes and you put your hand in there to taste it, give me a con save.
That's a 9.
A 9. You're going to take 34 points of necrotic damage as you taste the stew.
Holy crap. Okay.
And for those of you watching him taste it, his skin immediately blackens and purples with striations of like necrotic energy that's like beginning to desiccate his skin. You watch as there's like a burbling of the surface of his skin, like something might be penetrating or transforming him into something. Tyr, anything you want to do?
I'm gonna maintain the silence, concentration. I'm gonna move towards the chained up body.
Okay. You move towards the chained up figure on the tree.
And I'll tell Shogo, find a way to restrain her. Restrain her somehow. Keep her in the bubble.
Right.
I'll say with a remaining bonus action, you can give me investigation as you stare down at the figure chained to the tree.
All right. With disadvantage, I rolled both 4s, so that would be 14.
14 is still pretty good for, you can't help but notice that this figure's alive, but barely. And they have a lot of similarities to Wintrud.
Mm-hmm.
Like you pick up on some likeness.
Does the alive but barely, does that indicate injury, or is it more so like?
It feels like, to you, it feels like it's under the influence of an effect, which is keeping them kind of in a coma-like state. They're still breathing. They appear to be live, but they look very rough, and their body is suffering from some kind of necrotic effect.
Okay.
Shogo, what would you like to do? And then I'll move on to Alex. And then we'll bring up Wintrude last.
I have a question about a particular spell.
Shoot.
Does contagion still work on something if the creature is immune to is potentially immune to poison?
If the damage effect of a spell is described as a poison damage,
it doesn't deal damage. It just inflicts some really, really nasty debuffs, and it does involve the poison condition. So,
well, if it involves the poison condition and they're immune to poison, then whatever's described as the poison condition effect wouldn't take place. But there are sometimes, like, there are secondary things that could still potentially cause damage, depending on the way the spell's worded.
The thing about the spell is that it starts off as poison, but if you fail a couple of Constitution saves, it becomes something much, much worse.
Give it a go, see what happens. I mean, her immunity to necrosis feels directly connected to her. To them, you're not really sure what that means as it relates to poison. I mean, they're not always linked.
Yeah, based on the way that I saw her physiology reacts to my worms, and how basically, like, her body rejected them completely, shrugged them off. Do I think that she would be immune to poison based on what I've seen of her?
You can give me an insight check.
Insight check with disadvantage. Oh, that's pretty good. 22.
22. So far, her behavior, or its behavior and everything that it's doing, you get the feeling this creature focuses on dead things, that their strength is rooted in death. That doesn't mean they're invulnerable or immune to poison. While they exhibit signs that maybe they're resistant to poison, they definitely aren't exhibiting any sign that they're immune to it.
How far away is that thing?
After moving over and chasing after Wintrude, they are now about 50 feet away from you.
50 feet. Okay, I guess that's too far. All right, I'm going to run up 30 feet through the forest. I'm going to cast, let's see, what's it called? Spiritual Weapon at 4th level. And I believe that's within range to do one attack.
Whack it, just whack it.
Whack a hag.
So, Spiritual Weapon, 15 to hit.
15 will just barely hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
All right. And I unleashed the sphere of melded together insect bits, and it rams into her for 12 force damage.
Nice. Alex, as you see this, Gelmir's drinking from the cauldron and looking very rough. Tyr, you heard Tyr yell out towards Shogo, keep her contained, as Tyr went over to the unconscious form chained to the tree. Wintrude is in direct contact with the creature. What do you want to do at this point? And they're about 50 feet from you.
I can't run.
I mean, you can hobble and teleport. Sorry to backseat, but
sorry to side seat Shogo.
I guess I could hex it.
It's already got the D4 disadvantage, correct?
Yeah. Is it looking like it's gonna attack like Wintrude?
Yeah, it definitely looks angry and desperate, almost like you guys interrupted something that is now beginning to concern them. Like they're trying to deal with Wintrude so it can get back to what it was doing, and now it's desperately trying to kill Wintrude and get back to the cauldron.
Okay, then I will Hexblade curse it.
Okay.
Oh no, but then I can't. I can't teleport and Hexblade curse at the same time. I could Hexblade curse it in the next turn. I can teleport to it. Now I don't know what to do. I guess I guess I'm gonna toll the dead it. That's a wisdom save.
Okay. And that's necrotic damage, correct?
Yeah, and I'll move another 15 feet closer.
Okay. As you kind of shamble towards it, feeling your form, just feeling broken and haggard, you let out the Toll the Dead, and you watch as the energy around it kind of ripples from the effect. But you don't get the feeling that they took any damage. That you get the feeling
it's resistant to necrotic.
Well, if you feel like it's immune to necrotic.
Yeah.
Wintrude, it's hovering over you. You're out of the corner of your eye. You can see Tyr over by your sister, kind of like not sure what he might plan, but he's examining her and kind of like looking over towards you and then back towards your sister. The creature's hovering over you with these long protruded nails. You can see little droplets of your blood kind of hanging from their nails as they just like they're getting ready to attack you again.
I want a bonus action disengage.
Okay.
So
scurry away from it.
Oh, I'm prone, right? Or like I was prone from.
No,
or I don't know if I landed on my feet. Okay, I'm just wondering how much
on your feet.
I'm just wondering how much movement I have to play with here.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna So that would mean I'll use my full movement, 25 feet.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna go ahead and Eldritch Blast.
Go for
it.
Yeah, fuck her up.
Fuck her up!
Wait, are you still in the silence?
No, Wintrude moved, like disengaged with it.
Okay.
And now they're Wintrude's out of the silence.
Shit. One is an 11.
Okay.
Which probably fails. The other one is a 26.
26 will hit.
Let's see, that would be a 1d10 for 5 force damage. And that would be my round.
It frantically looks over at you as you scurry away, but then it looks and can see Gelmir over by the cauldron. It gets this look of panic on its face, and it just kind of sprints over to where Gelmir is. Gelmir, you feel this hand begin to form around your head and your chest. Give me either athletics or acrobatics, please.
I have advantage in acrobatics.
How many points of exhaustion do you have?
1.
So that's going to be a normal roll.
So 16.
16. See if she can beat that. Oof, just barely. So she picks you up, and you can't
I was
hear
dodging. If that makes any difference, remember?
Oh, you're doing uncanny dodge, right?
No, he took the dodge action.
I was just doing the
dodge action.
Yeah. Just to make this more complicated.
Yeah, because I wasn't doing anything. So
Yeah. I'm wondering if that would give her disadvantage. Then I think it would, because she's a. But that was your previous attempt, was the dodge action. But once you stopped doing that, start drinking from the cauldron, I would say that would fall away.
Okay, it's up to you.
Right, because you're like, you've just dipped your hand into a necrotic soup of undead body parts, and you took a big scoop of stew, as you call it, and I'll say really all that they do is like grab you, because wordlessly she's moving her mouth, so you can't really hear what they're saying, but she pulls you away from the cauldron and like tosses you 10 feet to the right, as if not to like mess with her cauldron. And now you're beginning to watch as a kind of large bony hand is beginning to extend out of the cauldron itself, and the creature kind of like looks back at it in like a moment of fear, and that'll finish their turn. Gelmir, what do you want to do? You just got tossed away from the cauldron.
Well, it was really gross, so I think I'm gonna go try and make it taste better.
Oh, sweet Jesus. Okay, so how do you want to make it taste better?
So I want to go over to the cauldron and just start dumping a bunch of stuff in it. Because I usually cook meals, so I'm sure I have a bunch of just random seasonings and meats and whatever. So, since I really don't care about what's going on at all,
you're apathetic.
Meal out of this, I'm just gonna throw as much stuff as I possibly can into this stew and try to make it better.
They're normally distracted by whatever the cauldron's doing in response to them. You use that ability to kind of like just head over to the cauldron, and you got a big bag full of stuff, and you're just dropping it in there inside into the cauldron. Tyr, you could see Gelmir go back to the cauldron and is now dropping like rotted meat and seasonings and dried goods into the cauldron, and his mouth is moving, so you're not really sure what he's saying, but he's just talking to himself silently as he's
Can I
like
read his
adding
lips?
things.
You just see me going bam, bam, over and over again. And then after all that, I'll use my bonus action to turn invisible until my next turn.
Okay. And then he turns invisible.
I would assume I just couldn't also taste it this round, right?
Yeah, it would have taken much more of an effort to be able to do that.
Okay, so I'll taste it again next round.
So, Tyr, you can see Wintrude had backed away from the creature. The creature went running back to the cauldron. You're over by the halfling that's chained to the tree. What are you doing?
First, I'm going to yell, Shogo, tip the cauldron.
Okay, you yell that out towards Shogo. Okay.
I'm going to bonus action. I'm going to Bardic Inspiration myself.
Okay.
Well, hang on though. If he's silenced,
Shogo is Shogo in the silence bubble? I thought Shogo had
Shogo.
No, you are, because you're
silenced.
right next to Wintrude, or Wintrude. You're right next to Orlanth, right? You're right next to.
Yeah, but the Orlanth is 20 feet away from the cauldron. Yeah.
Okay,
so the body parts were next to the cauldron.
Oh, got it.
They were picking up.
Silence.
Yeah.
So
Gelmir's in silence.
Bardic Inspiration myself.
Okay.
And then I'm going to cast Dispel Magic on the chained up body.
Okay. What level?
Just the third level.
Third level. Give me a D20 and add your spell modifier to it.
Oh, I got a disadvantage, and then I get Jack of all trades. So, and I'm going to use the Bardic Inspiration on this.
Okay.
I'm not failing another one.
You're gonna do it here. This is all
I'm pulling all the lint out of my pockets.
So, oh my God, 22 plus my Bardic, 30.
30. You watch as the cloudy eyes of the halfling begin to fade. You watch as their skin kind of gets a little bit more of a healthy hue. And, oh shit. Did it? Oh. And you don't look that great. You don't look like the undead yet, but she looks up at you. I
need you to fight, dickhead.
Okay. She's like, with what? With she seems confused, but she's kind of back to some level of normalcy at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Shogo, what do you want to do? Tyr's got the halfling recovered. You can see the halfling is like sitting up and looking around, and Winthrop, you would see that as well. Gelmir vanished after adding something to the cauldron, and then Shogo, you heard Tyr yell, "Tip the cauldron."
Let's see. All right, I believe both of them are 20 feet away from me, right?
You're 30 feet away from like the whole cauldron area, so you're still outside the bubble.
I think I was 50 feet away, and then I moved 30 feet closer.
Okay, 20 feet. Yeah, that's fine.
So, I'm going to.
But you're right outside the edge, or else you'll be in the silent bubble.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to basically run up to the cauldron and shove it over before. I try to time it so that I both push it over and do this at the same time. I have the spiritual blade slam itself into the top of the cauldron.
Okay.
So
roll it to hit for the spiritual weapon.
All right.
With advantage because it's a stationary object.
Now we got a nat 20. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then what are you doing?
Attempting to use the basically the momentum of it's hitting the cauldron to push it over.
So you can give me athletics or acrobatics with advantage because of the spiritual hammer helping you. Which I think turns it into a regular roll for whichever one you choose.
Yep.
Okay.
God. Well, at least I get to deal damage to the cauldron.
What'd you get for your roll?
5.
Yeah, you like timing wise, you watch as the spiritual weapon hits the cauldron, but it's silent, so you don't really hear the effect of it hitting. The entire cauldron kind of like shudders, and like flecks of metal kind of break off of it. Roll for damage. Yeah, roll for force damage on the spiritual weapon.
Maybe I could put a hole in it. Let me see. So
maybe that's cauldron.
Well, it's like that. I don't know. Have you ever seen Conan the Barbarian, where they're carrying that big giant cauldron to the how shall we say, orgy?
So doubling the dice. Let's see. So that's 26 plus 4, so 30 force damage by doubling the dice.
Natural 20. So no one can hear it, but everyone can see it. The spiritual weapon slams into the exterior of the cauldron. This huge crack, as a huge piece of the cauldron like breaks away, and you're now watching as the internal liquids of the cauldron begin to spill out onto the ground. There's a sudden wordless shriek from the hag, and as they sit there screaming with their mouth open and the cauldron shatters from that force strike, you just watch as like dozens of incomplete dead forms crawl out of the sludge that came out of the cauldron, and they begin to envelop the creature. They climb up on, they rip articles of their clothing apart and start digging into their internals and getting into the creature's internals. The creature's like frantically looking around, wordlessly screaming until it just collapses to the ground and turns to sludge.
It's like
all of you are just standing there like looking at this. What do you want to do?
I'm going to run up to Orlanth and give her a big hug.
I'm assuming she's still tied up or still chained up.
Yeah, she's still got like a chain against the tree.
As Wintrude's running up, I'll draw my sword like, slow the fuck down.
Paranoia, kick it in. Tyr, the paranoid performer.
And then I'll just kind of I'll circle away. I'll let her approach, but I'll circle away with my sword drawn still.
Like. Yeah. Just and you kind of back away as Wintrude that kind of like grabs Orlanth and starts hugging her. Orlanth is like pushing away at you, Wintrude. Yeah, and she's got this panicky look on her face, and she's like, get away! You're not real. She just starts screaming that you're not real.
I go ahead and pump. She's probably looking injured, right? Like beat up, and
she just looks very emaciated.
So I don't know if healing her would do anything, or like pumping in.
Certainly try.
So what I would do is go to features and traits, blah 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 blah. So 4d6. I'm going to go ahead and use healing light to just hug her, and with the hug,
right, try to get her pulse of like energy back into her body, see if that'll help her recover.
Does she want some stew?
No one wants stew, Gelmir.
It's only 7.
7? Okay, 7 hit points back. Puts a little bit of color back in her cheeks. Her form feels a little bit less emaciated. You get the feeling that she was under some kind of necrotic effect that was draining her life force. And with Tyr's dispelling of that, and then the connection with the cauldron somehow has undone the beginnings of whatever that creature was trying to do.
Then I kind of stand back and take a look at her. Are you okay? Because that's the dumb thing people always say, like when they're kind of like
remove the shackles, jackass. Take out your lock picks.
Or don't, you just decide what you want to do.
Are you still
Gelmir's still silenced? Gelmir's still silenced.
Goddamn, Ghelfi.
Oh my god, it's hysterical.
And I start rummaging through for the thieves' tools, but I'm trying to get my hands steady to try to start working on.
I found you, and I see you're not as clever as you think you are, hiding all these years, and I caught up to you, and I saved you. And
just trying to pick the cuff or whatever it is, the chain.
Yeah, give me a sleight of hand as you try to pick the lock. Yeah.
With disadvantage, of course. With disadvantage, it's a 17.
Disadvantage, it's a 17.
Yeah, I have a plus 12. I have a plus 12 to sleight of hand. So
that's hysterical. I mean, it's not an intricate lock by any stretch of the imagination. So, and in her kind of like docile condition, it was just designed to kind of keep her contained by the tree. And you pick the lock, it comes apart, and she's rubbing her wrist and now she gets up onto her feet. She's kind of like staggering a little bit under the weight of whatever just happened.
Well, we ended up tracking you back in the labyrinth. There was some sort of, you had a Minotaur guide? What are you even doing down here?
Did he make it to you guys? Is that how you were able to catch up to us?
I killed him. My bad.
She looks over at Tyr.
We found him. He kind of inadvertently set off a trap at the gates of the labyrinth there. We were just coming in. He didn't make it.
I never thought I'd see you again, Wintrude. Who? And she looks past you to see where Tyr's kind of off to the side. Gelmer, are you still invisible at this point?
No, just until my turn. So
gotcha. Okay. And looks over at Gelmer and can see where Alex and Shogo. And your sister kind of stops for a moment to look at Shogo and kind of look back at you. What? Why are you traveling with a lich? That doesn't seem like a good idea.
More of like a cleric. You know, but like in a wormy parasite rotted sense.
There's still like a madness glaze to her eyes. Like you're looking at her, and while she's physically back to like maybe getting control over herself, it's almost that same look of paranoia in her eyes that you would see in Tyr's eyes.
Yeah, I don't have any more lesser restoration.
I'm
a warlock, not a cleric, so I like so many slots. I'm like,
but you guys are all staring at the destroyed cauldron, the sludge that came from whatever those creatures were that destroyed the creature itself. Their hovel is there in the background as well. What do you guys want to do?
During this whole conversation, I've been inspecting the remains of the creature, as well as the remains of what ripped her apart, if they're still around. Being very careful to not allow any of that fluid to touch any of my any skin or anything like that. Just trying to figure out what the hell the thing was and taking samples.
I'm trying to figure out what would be the best way for you to figure this out. Oh man, because this is where I think your background kind of really is at play here. Start with a nature check.
All right.
As you try to figure out what this environment and what this creature is by how the way you described it to me.
Can one of my children help, keep me steady as I'm...
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm okay with that. That gives you a regular roll, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So nature. Dirty 20. Very good.
Nice. This creature situation, this place that you're in, they're all connected. This creature was making dead forms. Almost like it was, like you remember the dwarf getting up and wandering off towards the horde and looking at the sludgy remains of what was in the cauldron. There were at least enough like material in the cauldron to maybe make another 8 undead figures. They definitely focused on death and controlling those that are dead. But you don't know if maybe their binding to the cauldron and therefore the destruction of the cauldron led to almost like an effect of a long-term effect that they've been using this cauldron for, like rebounded on them. Like first it was Gelmir's interaction with it, and then your eventual destruction of it. It feels like that they were bound to this cauldron and had been bound for a long time. And the effect of that rebound and the interruption cost them their life because of what happened to the cauldron. You get the feeling that this creature has been here for a very long time and probably has been making the undead creatures that wander the forest.
Ain't here no more. I'm going right into her hut.
Okay. You watch as Tyr dips into the hovel.
You were creating your own family here. It's a shame you were such a heartless bitch. I could almost pity you. In truth, these people scare me. Can we, did
And she just kind of like sways in your arms a bit as she just kind of passes out from the exhaustion.
I think Gilmer just like lays down on the ground, like face first. Just like waiting.
This is all really exciting. Gilmer just lies down on the ground. Alex, anything you want to do as this is unfolding around you?
No. I really just want to wrap. Like, I want to get rid of the exhaustion. I don't know.
So as all of you kind of rack out and just, sit down, deal with missing sisters that are obviously exhausted. A very apathetic Gelmir, flat on his face. Shogo kind of like inspecting the remains. Tyr, as you dip into the hovel, give me an investigation check as you do that.
All right. Damn. 12.
12. The hovel's almost like an afterthought. You look around, there's a wooden shelf with dozens of unlit candles partially melted on the shelf. There's like strange kind of industrial looking thread and needles of various sizes kind of in a little basket. Maybe that's what she had fashioned the cloak thing from. There's a strange smell in here, but that is a high enough roll for you to see it's an iron box that's quite small, and it's sitting up against the rear of the hovel with some trash and debris kind of piled up near it. It looks very rusted. It's got a latch on the front of it, but you don't immediately see a lock of any sort. So it looks like it's been there for a while.
So no lock. I can just open it up, or attempt to open it. Yeah. Before I go any further, I'm gonna bardic inspiration myself.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go
sing yourself. Don't die, don't die.
And I'll open the little box.
Okay. The latch comes undone, and you're like, and you like open the lid of the box to look inside of it. You look in. There is a desiccated, intact hand inside the box. You can tell that it's been very expertly removed from the wrist. There's lots of tattoos on the hand, and the skin, while well preserved, is definitely desiccated, like it's all been dried out.
Mm-hmm. Do the tattoos look familiar at all?
Give me a history check as you examine the skin and the tattoos on the skin.
History check with disadvantage 14.
And you're Elven, correct?
Half elf.
Half elf. So the language is in a kind of archonic drow language. You also recognize it as kind of like an Underdark kind of language. It looks like it was part of some kind of ceremony or used for some purpose related to a ceremony. The one thing that you find interesting is that every now and then throughout the tattooed writing, the 3 words pop out multiple times as you examine the tattoos. Hand of death.
All right. Just to be meta, I was like, just to be meta because I don't know. It's the first time. Is that something I should like be happy about or something? I don't know. I was gonna take it anyways, but
do you keep it in the box or you?
I was gonna keep it in the box.
Okay. As you close the box and kind of dip it into your pack for the very first time, you don't know if it's your sword or the fact that you took that box, but this laugh begins to fill your mind. And that's where we're going to finish tonight. You guys are in the final arc, man. This shit's only going to get darker. It's only going to get darker. I like how Alex was so busy listening. He's like, fuck, what do I do?
Yeah.
How many points of exhaustion does everybody have now?
I have 2.
Okay. 3 for Tyr, 1 for Gelmir, 1 for Shogo, and what do you got, Win? 1?
Yeah, just one. Just
one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
it starts ramping up real fast.
Yeah.
It sort of becomes a deadly cycle at some point. Like, it's called a death spiral.
So are we all good for next Sundays? How's everybody's schedule looking?
Yeah,
Should be all right.
Okay.
30th, cool. Right?
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out. I love this part of the Shadowfell. These guys are getting it from all directions. We will be here next Sunday. Everybody linger for a minute because I want to talk about a potential milestone coming up because I like what Shogo was asking. I like the fact that Tyr's been dipping into potential other levels, and I want to talk about that for a moment. So everyone else, please be safe, be kind. Don't forget to play a game. We'll be back here in 2 hours with Fool's Errand. Otherwise, if you're checking us out here for Mad Mage, we'll be back next Sunday. Good night, everybody. One of these days, I'm going to get this right.